Und damit herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Video hier auf diesem Kanal. Wir gehen jetzt rein tatsächlich in Planet Zoo 2, machen wir eine Reaction über offiziell Zoo-Tour Gameplay. Und immer wenn die uns den Zoo zeigen, werde ich dazu tatsächlich was sagen. Habe ich natürlich Bock drauf. Wir gehen rein. Das Ganze geht los. So, wir starten das Ganze. Ihr seht das schon. Und wir legen los.
Heyo and welcome to this first extended gameplay look at Planet Zoo 2. Earlier this month I was joined by Planet Zoo 2's game director and art director for an exciting behind-the-scenes tour of the zoo used in our announce trailer. Joining us also was one of our incredibly talented video artists and zoo builders to guide us on this tour. The gameplay in this video was captured using a development build from earlier this year. Therefore, everything you're about to see may be subject to change by the time Planet Zoo 2 launches on October 13th. Now, without further ado, let's jump in. Now, guys, I know we're excited to talk about everything that we've got coming, but first, why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us what you do here?
Thanks, Chris. I'm Mel, and I'm a video artist here at Frontier.
Hello, my name is Mark Cox, and I'm the art director on Planet Zoo 2.
Hi, I'm Gareth Hughes, and I'm the game director.
Right, let's jump in game and take a look at what we're talking about.
Thanks, Chris. So welcome to Planet Zoo 2. And what we're going to do today is take you on a tour of one of our brand new tropical zoos that we've built in Planet Zoo 2 and show you all the cool stuff that we've been working on.
Exciting. Let's jump in and take a look.
Cool. If we can zoom in a little bit, Mel, and then we can get a look at the entrance to the zoo. So first of all, I think we can start by talking about the massive jump in visual fidelity that we're seeing across the board, right? In terms of the foliage, in terms of the I know it sounds crazy, right? But the rocks and the terrain, everything has had a really significant visual uplift. And really that's all been powered by us moving to a new version of our internal engine, Cobra, which is kind of powering all this. And one of the biggest changes that's allowed us to introduce to the game is global illumination, an entirely new lighting system. And it's giving this overall, fantastic image quality that we're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, we've made a massive stride now in terms of what we can do with shadows. Certainly any kind of area.
Schaut euch das mal an. Wahnsinn, ne? Auch Schattengebung, ne? Das ist ja Beta-In-Game-Footage, ne? Also man zeigt die Sachen aus dem Spiel tatsächlich. Ja, hier haben wir noch die Automaten, sind auch hier zurück. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob es die im Planet Zoo 1 gab, aber ich glaube schon. Ja, ich freue mich drauf. 2 unterschiedliche Wege haben wir hier schon mal. Ne? Neue Sitzgruppen tatsächlich. Also ähnlich wie auch Planet. Kostet 2.
Areas that are undercover, so when you go into caves, things like that, you get proper occlusion of the light, so the balancing there is way better for shadows generally, so the reality is much more intense. As we can see here, as you mentioned as well, the fidelity of the textures, the resolution across the board has gone up, exponentially. So it's important to make sure those environments feel like the animals could actually live there.
Exactly.
So,
And then within that, we then obviously have the guest and the staff and the zoo infrastructure, which is where all the planet charm really pushes through. So we've got this really interesting combination.
Man sieht hier auch ganz schön die Wasseroberfläche. Na, vielleicht zeigen sie davon noch ein bisschen mehr. Das wäre ganz nice. Die zeigen uns da jetzt hier ein paar Sachen auch aus dem Game, die Zoo-Tour. Geil.
Of simulation and realism, and then this much softer, more friendly planet element that kind of weaves its way through.
That's right.
Ja, hier ist ja nochmal das Wasser. Hier ist nochmal das Wasser. Geil.
We've
Sieht sehr, sehr gut aus.
retained that, what we call the planet charm. So, we've got the same guests. They've all had a pass on them, so they're all at a higher fidelity now as well. But it's important for us to retain that feeling of certainly of the planet universe, and make sure the player doesn't have to sort of think too hard about how they sit within what are realistic environments. And actually, I think we can see here, what's in front of us. That's actually working really quite seamlessly. We've got people running around the park, looking at the environment, and it doesn't feel. It feels quite natural. Just one thing actually while we're here, just as Mel's kindly flying us around, just to point out.
Boah, das ist ja wirklich Wahnsinn, ne? Alter, Da steckt auch viel Arbeit hinter, ne? Ich glaube, hier schwimmt was, oder?
You know, some of the
Nee, ist ein Stein.
new scenery that we'll be seeing.
Hier ist ein Felsen, sorry. Aber hier schwimmt auf jeden Fall was drin, ne? Weil hier haben wir Zäune. Ja? Hier würde man ja nicht bauen, wenn nichts da wäre. Ich glaube, da schwimmt schon was drin.
We've taken
Damit es da bleibt, wo es bleiben soll, sag ich mal.
some inspiration from obviously an Indonesian island out in the tropics.
Wir haben auf jeden Fall richtig viel geil Content, auf jeden Fall. Das steht schon fest.
All the foliage and everything here is obviously tuned into that, and to support that, you know, as we've done previously, and we would expect to do for all of our themes, is give these some kind of central sort of
Viele Zootouren werden wir auf jeden Fall machen. Das steht auch fest.
a motif for each location. So here we've got
Mal gucken auch, was andere gebaut haben. Geil.
the sort of, as I say, the Indonesian tropical theme with all the decorations. So, you know, the paths, the railings, all the path extras that we see with benches and lighting. It's all as we'd expect with a Planet game, all nicely themed.
And as we're looking at the pathing in particular, we can see that it's all of the path advancements in terms of the tooling and the presentation from Planet Coaster 2, brought those over into Planet Zoo 2, and then on top of
Ja, hier nochmal die Automaten. Ja, die sind überall.
that, we've continued to
Ich glaube, die Sitzgelegenheiten hier sind neu.
improve.
Bin ich mir aber noch nicht ganz so sicher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same with the guests and the staff.
Ist das hier ein Mitarbeiter, der sich auch mal zum Ausruhen hinsetzt? Ein Zoo-Mitarbeiter wäre natürlich nice, geil.
You know, those guys have come over as well, so everything's had a completely fresh lick of paint. And as I said, in terms of the way that you sort of interact with the path system, with the foliage, everything, all of those tools, again, have had a refresh.
I'm probably going to say this a couple of times just to remind people, but what we're looking at here does actually look quite complex. Everything here is totally created, can be created by the player. And
Well, it was actually built by Mel.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Although Mel does have some very special skills, definitely, in terms of creating fantastic environments. But what we'll see as we go on here, as we're talking through this, is we've really wanted to make sure that this kind of creation is accessible for everyone, no matter how long you've spent on a Planet game previously. We want you to be able to pick this up, you know, put the paths down, put some rocks around, trees and everything else in a small, you know, not take months and months basically for creation. So this kind of thing, typically this kind of scene, you know, you can get this together in, you know, an afternoon.
I think I can see something bobbing about just below us there. Where are we here?
I think this is a perfect time to segue down into this body of water here. So, first animal that we're going to show you is crocodile. Had a massive uplift from Planet Zoo in terms of what we call the character model, but the animation, everything is significantly uplifted, and you can really see just what an absolutely beautiful rendition of that animal.
Very polite of him to jump out and give us a better look.
Better look,
don't
yeah.
Put your fingers in the way. And obviously you can see it interacting with the water surface. That's all physics-based. And now we're underwater here, we can see some of the advancements that we've made to the presentation of water. It's been a big focus for us. So we've introduced caustics, we've introduced basically the
Light
global
rays,
illumination kind of interacting with that body of water in a physical way. So everything you're seeing here is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
So, well, there's a couple of things. I mean, it's dynamic. That's one
Yes.
thing to remember as well. It's basically, there's nothing here is fudged in any way. We're using proper physical ray tracing solutions for, as you say, things like the caustics, the light rays that we see coming through the water, crepuscular rays as they're called, give us this lovely kind of, you know, a much more immersive and believable volume for the animals to move through. And yeah, I mean, I love this scene. I just want to put up a deck chair on the beach there and relax for a bit.
Probably it's time then to visit some of our naughtiest animals. They don't always behave exactly as we'd like them to, but let's see what they're up to today. So here we have a habitat for our western chimpanzees. And again, I think you can immediately see how much work has gone into making these animals look as authentic as possible. So there's the obvious stuff, right? There's the character modelling, there's the detail in the face, there's the animations.
That's right, yeah. So across the board, every single, and not to forget audio.
Guckt euch mal das Fell an. Das sieht doch sehr. Das sieht, finde ich, sehr gut.
As well. I mean, we
Yeah,
talk, and
absolutely.
the code. I mean,
Oder hier Wasser.
one thing Planet lovers will notice straight away
Ich glaube, das Wasser wird so ein bisschen mit Effekten dargestellt. Ne? Da gehe ich ganz stark von aus. Ne?
is the fidelity and the uptick in the locomotion, certainly for climbing. We've spent, a good deal of time actually going over this,
Die Bewegung von den Tieren, das ist ja wirklich geil.
picking everything apart, really sort of building for the ground up again in terms of
Wirklich mega gemacht.
just general behaviours, but also just how animals transition from, a vertical post to the ground and back again. It looks really seamless, works perfectly, but there's a lot of work gone into producing that.
And just to pick up on the jumping, you might have seen them do it a couple of times already. That's fully dynamic, right? So the animal's basically looking at the route it's going to take, and then if it can jump within the range from one point to another, it will calculate how far it needs to jump and dynamically adjust, and it all looks very natural and cool.
And again, that's part. I said I'm going to mention piece by piece again. But
Yeah.
again, all of those components are completely authored by the player in terms of then you'll determine where those points are going to be for contact, where they jump to and from. And we'll see a bit more of that in detail later.
Yeah, so they'll basically adapt to any climbing frame
yeah,
that you see
absolutely.
fit to build, totally dynamically. I think that is pretty incredible, really.
Create a very naturalistic environment for them and really adjust it to as much as you want. It's really gorgeous to see them moving around dynamically and behave in the different ways. The fur on them in particular looks absolutely gorgeous. It's great to see some of those animations as well for the vocal side of things up close that we just saw then, but they look fantastic. This really
So all
gorgeous
of our
environment.
fur shaders have
Sieht schon sehr klasse aus.
been reworked. Again,
Aber zeigen Sie jetzt hier nur das Affengehege?
this is
Dann ruhig mal ein bisschen mehr zeigen.
quite cool actually. Sorry, I'm going to just jump in on here. So our climbing animals now have the ability to basically do actions while they're on the beams. So they might choose to do a hang or have a little sleep. So there's much more they can do than just navigate around. They can actually do stuff while they're up there. Very cool. But yeah, to go back to the fur shader, so that's all been basically completely upgraded to work.
Aber wie gesagt, wir reden hier noch von einer Beta, die da wirklich ist. Also ist noch nicht final, ne? Also, ne? Das Spiel kommt 13. Oktober. Könnt ihr euch schon mal rot im Kalender anmerken. Ich werde es mir auf jeden Fall holen. Ich werde es mal vorbestellen tatsächlich. Ich glaube, das kostet im Moment 60 Euro. 64. Ich kann es gucken, ich habe es auf der Wunschliste, das ist schon parat. Hat es mir noch nicht vorbestellt. 65 Euro für die Deluxe Edition oder halt 50 Euro für die normale Standard-Edition. Also ist nicht überteuert, kann man so stehen lassen, tatsächlich. Genau.
With the global
Und nicht wundern, im Hintergrund hört ihr einfach nur meinen Ventilator.
illumination, and that's why you're getting that much better, more natural response from the fur. And why, I think it looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, our character team as well now, their skill set is absolutely phenomenal. I think they're probably the best in the industry for producing animals right now. We've taken all the learning from previous outings, obviously, on animals, and just kept iterating on that and building new techniques, new brushes, and new ways of, just increasing that fidelity and authenticity.
This is a good juncture, I think, for us to move on our tour. So I think another thing to pick up on here is just the scale and the scope of this park that Mel's built. It not only looks amazing, but it's really big, right? And just looks incredible. Like the amount of verticality that we've managed to get in, and there's a big river down the middle. I think it's a great example of the creativity that you can have with our tool set. And one of the things we've really been
Alter, guckt euch mal das Wasser an.
looking at
Ist ja wirklich, wuhu.
is,
Das hier hinten, glaube ich, für Mitarbeiter eventuell, könnte durchaus sein.
making sure that everybody can create awesome looking stuff in the game. So I always think about it as we want to keep a high ceiling in terms of creativity. So, our kind of dedicated players can create amazing things and really spend the time and the effort to get it exactly how they want it. But we want to drop the floor a little bit. So it's much easier for most players to come in and be able to build whether it's structures or environments or habitats, whatever it is that they fancy, they can kind of get ahead and get something that looks and feels really good very quickly.
It's that entry level, right? Just making sure people can pick it up and get some nice results really quickly.
Okay, here we are at one of my personal favourites. Let's see if you can find her, Mel.
They are a master of camouflage. Can you see her anyway?
I absolutely can, absolutely. But if you can't, I'll hold that illusion of the master of camouflage for you.
So, another one of our amazing animals. So this is a really interesting advancement that we've made with our animals, is that we're now able to layer in animations over their basic kind of movement and navigation.
Alter, die Tiger, die sehen so schön aus.
Show off moods.
Alter, das ist aber hier wahrscheinlich Szenario, ne? Ich glaube nicht, dass das so hoch wächst. Wenn ja, das wäre ja wirklich... Puh, das wäre nice.
Essentially.
Das wäre richtig geil.
So,
Glaube ich war nicht, aber wie gesagt, das wäre schon gut.
in this case, our Sumatran tiger is not very happy. So we can look here in the UI itself and we can see that they're thirsty. But I think what's really interesting is we didn't need to look at the UI to know there was a problem. Just from the animations and the vocalizations from the animal, that kind of living UI tells you that there's a problem with the welfare that you need to deal with. So then coming in and getting the details is really cool, right?
It's great. It's you can quite visually and straight away see who's upset with you and who's quite happy with the job you're doing. So what do we need to do to fix this problem?
I'm gonna have to give her some water because unfortunately I forgot to do that when I made her habitat.
Very irresponsible.
No, I'm not a very good keeper today. But we can easily solve that with opening up our terrain tools and one click of a button. And we've given her some water in this lovely little pond.
It's very serene.
And again, I think, you know, a really good example of how easy to use our tool set is, you know, creative-wise. You've found a nice little depression in the terrain and just fill it with water with a single click. And here we can see tiger, thirsty tiger, having a good long drink. Thank you very much.
Hopefully, we should see some changes then.
Yeah, and I've always really liked this about Planet Zoo, that, you know, the animals will drink from natural bodies of water or, you know, the kind of taps and things that you provide them with. So yeah, we can see here that she has definitely perked up a bit.
Perked up, hasn't she?
Yeah,
She's got some energy back. So.
Oh, she's having a scratch. That's what she's up to.
Oh, wow. There we go.
So again, this is a new thing we've added where those kind of scratching behaviours and rubs and things like that would normally have been only done on enrichments in the past in Planet Zoo. Now in Planet Zoo 2, the animals will do those scratches, those kind of rubs and behaviours on anything that is appropriate. So whether it's trees or other plants or rocks, they can just do their natural behaviours in a way that they weren't able to before.
Wow, so it's not just a specific point within their environment. It kind of interact with everything
It can be
inside
pretty
of
much anything, yeah.
Wow.
And again, you know, the player can place the rocks and the trees, anything. I mean, if you put any object within the habitat that they can interact with, they'll do so. But yeah, there you go. This
It's really showing off for us.
Yeah, well, it's because we've addressed the welfare issue. So now that she's no longer sort of hacked off, that she's not got anything to drink, she's much more likely to engage in enrichments and do those kinds of activities.
And that fur
Sieht so mega aus, wie die Tiere sich da so bewegen.
is absolutely gorgeous. Just looking at those ears and around.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, it really does. It looks so realistic.
Auf meinen Kanal.
The detail in the painting and the sculpture as well.
I think she's a little bit warm, right?
It might be, yeah. Actually, I mean, we're in the
pretty
tropical
hot.
zoo, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's going to need to cool off now.
Cool
again.
off.
Yeah, she looks quite happy anyway.
Awesome.
Well, while she cools off, let's move on and take a look at our next part of the park.
Go on.
Where are we going now?
We're going to go and take a look at this lovely guest area here. And as we fly through, Mark can tell us about this amazing scenery that we are
Well,
going
I
to
mean,
show.
again, you've done a fantastic job in showing our lovely scenery off again, Mel, with your builds. Yeah, so yeah, here's a lovely example actually of just not the architectural style itself with this sort of, you know, Eastern kind of themes, so bamboo sets and things like that, the lovely kind of awnings there, the fabrics, but it showcases actually what we're able to do, or the player's able to do now in terms of opening up guest side facilities like restaurants and so forth. So we've got an example of a restaurant here where, as you see, you don't see, 4 walls and a roof. We've opened it up, playing into the idea of the architectural style as well. We're in a tropical environment, so there's a nice kind of, feels kind of airy and open. And yeah, the player can configure that any way they want to.
And that's also true of the staff facilities. So you can create, keeper, feeding prep places. What's another good?
Well, basically, vets as well.
Vets,
so, anywhere where we've got animations of the keepers doing their thing behind the scenes, as zoos do now, right? They're keen to kind of show what goes on in the background. So typically in zoos these days, you can go and have a look at the habitats, and then you'll see them keepers sort of preparing the food behind the scenes. So we thought, well, we could do that, right? So why not let the player break down those barriers, let the guests sort of see into these. Before now we used to sort of shut that off, but now we can break down those walls. You can rebuild the walls as well in your own kind of style. So, you've got these open spaces for viewing, and also actually just makes it for a nicer environment for the staff as well.
I was going to say, it's great to, not just show the animals, but show the work that goes into to caring for them, but also not just making sure that the guests have gorgeous areas to sit around, but you've got to keep your staff happy as well and make sure that they've got a gorgeous environment to do their work in. So
it builds into sort of educational aspects as well that, we've kind of tried to emulate with what zoos do as well around the world.
So I think this would be a really good opportunity for us to have a look at how easy it is to put down some buildings, right? So we've got this area here that's looking pretty good, this little plaza area.
Just needs a little bit more finishing,
It
right?
does. Just a quick note though, this circular plaza here is all part of the new path system. So you can use literally a circular stamp and stamp down these kind of areas very, very quickly and efficiently, and your guests can navigate anywhere within that, right? So that's a brand new thing.
It's probably just worth mentioning actually that you can colour the paths now as well.
Yeah.
We've done a huge job on the flexi colour that we've had previously, so there aren't any, I don't think there's any scenery parts now that aren't actually colourable. So, but we've included, spread that out to actual paths and furniture as well. So.
Yeah, and I think just going back to that, Mark, the flexi-colour thing, like you say, it's on almost, well, I think it is on pretty much everything.
Other than Folge.
Das sieht wirklich klasse.
Yeah, things that grow.
Hier nochmal so ein Affe. Das ist wahrscheinlich aus dem Blueprint.
We don't do those.
That's right.
Hier diese Lampen, ne?
Yeah, all the decorative
So
stuff.
in terms of customization, the player's got infinite options in terms of the color and also the scaling, right? So they can go in and scale a lot of these objects now as well.
Scaling's a big thing now, literally a big thing. Or a
little thing.
But yeah, it's it just opens up all the possibilities now for players in terms of curating and using objects in amazing ways. Yeah.
Well, Mel, why don't you show us some of your skills, and let's take a look at what we can fill this extra space with.
I've got a blueprint ready for us as well, and what's really, really great is the blueprints, you can also get them from the workshop. So one of the key factors of our game is players can share their amazing creations with one another on the workshop. And I think we've actually gone one step further, haven't we now, Gareth, with our workshop?
Yeah, that's right. So rather than viewing the workshop as something external where I save my stuff out and I do all the sharing over there, we've integrated the workshop directly into the browser, so that it's there, touch of a button. You can find creations from other players, you can find creations that we've curated that we think are super cool and we'd like everybody to sort of see and use.
Yep. That entry level is just so much easier now for people.
Yeah. And it's really just, again, lowering that floor for people to get involved in the creative side of the game and just have access to these, awesome creations and just get them into their parks.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the kind of the depth of the customization options available for people like Mel, who are very talented and want to tweak every single light bulb and every single piece of scenery. But it's also great that there's such an easy jumping point. So, and this is a great example here, right? We've kind of placed down this initial shell of a building, and it's now up to you to kind of put into it exactly what you want and decorate it up to take it to the next level.
Exactly, and players can put whatever they want in there, food or drink for their guests, whatever you feel like you need to do for your guests in this area of your park. Like I've put down some seating, so probably I'd put some food in here and then my guests can sit and enjoy it in the shade. nice and comfortable because this is a tropical park after all. But I think I need to add a little bit extra in here as well, and I'm actually going to also add in a souvenir shop. This is one of my favorite buildings that were created by the lovely...
Ja, ich tippe mal, die Souvenirshops, die Sie ja gerade ansprechen, werden wahrscheinlich genau so... Hier haben wir ein ATM, ein Geldautomat. Haben wir hier... Was das ist, weiß ich gar nicht. Wahrscheinlich was Neues. Könnten auch Mülleimer sein, aber wir werden sehen. Dass die Shops genauso generiert werden können wie in Planet Coaster 2. Mit Einzelteilen wahrscheinlich und Regalen, richtig, die wir verbinden können mit den Shops. Tippe ich mal, dass das da genauso ist diesmal.
art team on this game, and it is just absolutely stunning, the detail that you can put in here. And it's got a really cute name, Trunk of Trinkets.
That's gorgeous as well. It's very, very airy. It's lovely.
Ja, ich hatte recht. Ja, ich hatte recht. Das ist schon so ähnlich erstellt wie, ja.
The light come through.
Vielleicht zeigen sie da gleich noch ein bisschen was. Das wäre natürlich gut, wenn man da ein bisschen was zeigt rüber. Aber ich tippe jetzt mal ganz stark, dass das genauso sein wird wie Planet Coaster. Ja, wie gesagt, es läuft auch auf derselben Engine, glaube ich. Wurde, glaube ich, gesagt schon. Und ja, bin ich mega gehypt drauf. Also wirklich, da freue ich mich riesig drauf auf das Game. Oktober ist nicht mehr lang, 72 Tage. Dann ist es da, das Game. Und dann werden wir es anzocken können im Oktober. Das ist wirklich geil.
Through the glass there as well.
We know that the branding is quite popular with players, so we've added a few more fun brands as well. We like them as well. We like all the signs and things, so that's a lovely, again, feeds into that whole kind of planet charm that
So this is a new brand for our souvenir shop.
That's right, yeah.
Ist ein Dienstag, da muss ich wahrscheinlich arbeiten im Oktober, aber ich werde wahrscheinlich abends den streamen. Klar, tatsächlich, ne? Ja.
Our souvenir shop we've got here, and again, you know, really nice example of how...
Auch hier diese Schaufenster, das ist schon klasse gemacht, dass man da, sage ich mal, von hier aus rauf gucken kann. Das ist schon raffiniert gemacht tatsächlich, ne? Da bin ich wirklich gespannt.
We don't just give the player a box.
Wirklich gut gestaltet, ne?
And then they
Wie gesagt, Blueprint natürlich, ne? Aber sehr, sehr gut gestaltet. Also wirklich gut gestaltet.
You have to clad the box, you can break down the walls, you can take the doors off, you can do whatever you
Passt da jetzt nicht gut hin, aber hey.
want with it. So you've still got that ground floor, right? And, you know, it's an accessible area for the guests, but then it's up to you how you dress that up.
So let's move over and take a look then at our next little reveal, which you'll have seen a sneak peek of in the announced trailer. But let's take a look at them in game, shall we?
Alter, guckt euch mal das Wasser an, wie klar das ist, ey. Ich weiß gar nicht, wie viele Pumpen du dafür brauchst, um das Wasser so hinzubekommen. Das ist wirklich gut. Wir haben nochmal so einen Vogelkäfig, wie man das nennt. Hier eine Voliere, glaube ich, heißt das.
We're going to cruise over here to one of our new
Das ist Wahnsinn. Das, also unendlich Möglichkeiten.
kinds.
Aber wie gesagt, mir fehlt da noch irgendwie sowas wie Safari-Park, dass du sowas kombinieren kannst, wie sowas wie das Serengeti-Park in Hodenhagen, Tiere und Freizeitparkbereich. Das fehlt mir noch auf jeden Fall.
Of habitats, aren't
Dass
we?
du dann da auch richtig geile Hotels bauen kannst und so. Das wäre vielleicht so der Ansporn für Planet Coaster 3.
Gareth?
We certainly are.
Ich glaube, da werden sie als nächstes dran arbeiten.
I really, really love these. I think if you haven't guessed yet, it's an aviary.
Ich glaube auch, dass Planet Coaster 2 bis 3 rauskommt, keine 10 Jahre verstreichen werden. Glaube ich nicht. Aber gut.
But what I really like about it is how it's just like a natural extension of the habitat system that everybody already knows, but it's just given so much more freedom to create different kinds of habitats. So essentially, what we've got is a habitat defined by a barrier.
So könnte man ja beispielsweise auch das Leopardengehege bauen, weil auch die können klettern und dann ausbüchsen, ist klar, ne? So wäre das schon safe. So habe ich das schon mal gesehen, tatsächlich. Also, das sieht schon... Yippie!
Is per usual, like we saw with the tiger earlier on. You know, there's a barrier that runs around that defines the outside of it. And then here you can see that there's some supporting poles, so the player can choose exactly where to put them, what angle they're at, what height they're at. And then they click a button and it basically generates that roof that you can see here over the top of the habitat. So you basically have a Insta aviary.
Wow.
It's so intuitive and easy to do.
It's basically an extension of the habitat,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
We're putting a
exactly.
roof on it and you're able to then adjust the pillars and supports, as we can see here. Nothing's on rails. We'll keep probably saying this, but everything's dynamic, essentially. And what what the tool here does is just work out for you how it actually fills in all the gaps basically in terms of the roof. So as Mel's very well sort of displaying here, you know, you can adjust the heights of the poles, support poles, rotate them all dynamically. It's not like a destroy it and you've got to rebuild the roof entirely again.
And then with the roof, you still have quite a lot of creative control over it. Not just in terms of defining its shape with the poles and the barriers, but you can go in and choose different materials. So you could have something that looks more rigid like plastic or glass, or you can keep this kind of mesh effect.
And it's a really key emblematic kind of silhouette that you typically associate with a zoo. And so in terms of the architecture of the zoo as well, it's those little bits of authenticity that just make you, you know, bring you into the whole scene a lot more.
I wanted to talk about the sag, the sag slider.
Let's talk about sag.
Let's talk about sag. So you can control like the rigidity of the roof. So we have a little slider that makes it kind of sag, or gets really taut, and you have, again, creative control over that. I don't think we're going to call it the sag slider.
We should come up with something better for that. But it's great to see how easy they are to put down, and then for people who love that attention to detail, they can really customise it so easily, and it adjusts based on what they want. But let's go beyond.
Let's fly in.
Yeah, and let's take a look at what we're hiding away in here.
There we go.
There we go.
Special delivery.
A toucan.
Wow.
He's such a cool dude. Look him go.
It's so beautiful.
First of all, what an amazing animal to have in the game. Not just a toucan, but a whole range of different birds. And the way that we've delivered them in game is that they are, you know, we treat them just like all the other animals that you'd expect in Planet Zoo. So they have welfare, they need feeding, they need cleaning, they need water, they need companionship, and obviously that's species dependent, what they like and don't like. But most importantly, the navigation. So this is full 3D navigation. So these guys are basically looking at the environment. They understand where they can fly, where they can't fly. It's all dynamically calculated. So if you change the environment, they understand it. They're looking at all of these different trees and plants and, you know, perchable areas, but they just understand where they can go, right, where they can perch. You're not having to map any of that stuff down.
Das ist so geil gemacht, wirklich, ne? Ich freue mich riesig drauf, was da auf uns zukommt tatsächlich.
It's all dynamic.
Sounds very complex. Sounds like...
I think, to be honest, I think...
Das ist wirklich...
probably agree, Mark.
Mega.
These are our most challenging animals that we've ever made.
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, at every stage, from the modelling, the rigging, the animation, it's been, and the code's actually driving the behaviour. It's been a mountain to climb, but it's been really worth it. You can see, I mean, the detail is there to be seen, right? You know, the feathers, you know, all of those are individually placed, textured, and the detail in terms of the artists. They spend they're really dedicated, and they go to the nth degree in terms of trying to replicate those authentic placement of feathers, you know, the joints, the way the bird moves. I'm stunned every time I see it. And again, it looks so natural here, right? But there's a lot going on. As Gareth said, you know, they're looking for perch points here. This guy's looking for perch points at the moment. Again, as we've said before, they're straight from a tree onto an actual purpose-built perch. All of those pieces are placeable by the player as well, as we've said before, so it's completely dynamic.
Schaut euch das an, also diese Animation, also wirklich, ne? Und auch das Wasser. Also da ist bestimmt viel Geld reingeflossen, dass das genau so aussieht, ne? Ich tippe mal, die haben auch viele aus Planet Coaster 2 genommen, wäre ja dumm, wenn nicht. Ja, umgekehrt haben sie es ja auch gemacht. Die haben ja auch viel aus Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster genommen, also da ist auch nicht viel Neues. Also da haben sie auch einiges übertragen, sage ich mal, was gut aussieht und warum auch nicht, wenn man es kann, tatsächlich.
This guy will just
auch das hier mit dem Weg und der Stütze, das sieht schon wirklich gut aus.
go anywhere.
You know, and I think worth calling out, right, that this is beta footage.
Yeah.
So we've still got a raft of improvements that we're looking to make in terms of the nuance of the movement and things like that. But I think, really, I love these guys. I just think they're
They're great. They're so characterful, aren't they?
These are absolutely gorgeous, and I could watch these for a few hours, but I think we should move on and show what else we sneakily revealed in our announced trailer.
Let's go and walk along the coast. Because this map is absolutely gorgeous.
And
Gott, das war das Meer und das sieht aus wie Panama, ey.
massive.
Da könnte man eine Runde San Francisco Wild drehen, tatsächlich.
It's huge.
Right, such,
Yeah.
Wow.
such a cool zoo.
Definitely plenty of space. Yes.
Das ist wirklich mega gut.
The water is stunning. If that doesn't want to make you go on holiday, I don't know what will. We're coming to my favorite part of the zoo now.
So this is a super interesting little tunnel, isn't it? Again, shows off the global illumination,
Very
really
dark.
having us to have these authentic feeling interior spaces.
That's right. So we get much better control now, so we can show off, proper effects, lighting effects as well. So yeah, lovely example there. Again, a guest space for interaction for either souvenir shops and restaurants, those kind of things. But what have we got
If we
around
take
here?
a swing round, we can see what these guests are interested in.
Guckt euch mal das Meer an. Also wir haben das, glaube ich, schon mal so ähnlich wie im Trailer gesehen, aber hier dieses Aquarium, das ist riesig.
And it is one of our
So, ich glaube, das haben wir schon mal gesehen. Dieses Boot hier, das habe ich schon mal gesehen.
incredible aquariums.
Ah, das ist doch geil.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow is definitely the word. Yeah. Every time I see this, I'm
Das ist ja...
stunned.
I think this
Wow, wow, wow.
is the thing that I've probably spent the most time just
Wow, wow.
sitting and looking at and not moving at all, because it's just that big, open view. Every time you look at it, you kind of get lost in it a little bit.
It's mesmerizing, isn't it?
Every time I'm in the studio and I walk past someone's screen and they've got something like this up, and I'm like, wow, that's a really good reference. And I'm like, that's our game. And it's stunning. It's really stunning. And again, you're seeing all of those effects come together as well as what we were talking about at length, with the global illumination, giving us all those effects in
Get a
the
little
water.
shot of him as one of our staff members has come in to do a little bit of cleaning. Very cool.
This is great. I mean, so we've got, is it keepers and vets, I think, that are allowed to?
Yeah, and caretakers. So basically our staff can make their way into any aquarium. They have a special little airlock, and they do a special little planet animation where they pop a wetsuit and breathing apparatus on, and then they come in to do whatever they need to do, whether it's cleaning or feeding or transporting animals. So yeah, basically all of our staff can come in and out of these aquariums as they see fit. Gotta say, this is
Das sieht wirklich mega schön aus.
probably my favourite
Dieses Wasser ist so klar.
animal in the whole game. This
That's why I
one's
clicked
built
on it.
Da werden wahrscheinlich auch so Pumpenanlagen entstehen, ne, um das Wasser sauber zu halten. Glaube ich schon, weil bei den Pools in Planet Coaster ist das da genauso, dass du da ja auch dieses Wasseraufbereitungsding da bauen musst, damit das Wasser halt klar wird und das Wasser nicht dreckig wird.
First.
Und ich glaube, hier kommt sowas Ähnliches im Einsatz auf jeden Fall.
No, he's just so,
Who are we looking at?
chills me out. Just amazing.
So this is the Hawksbill.
Yeah.
Hawksbill turtle.
100%.
And again, incredible detail from the character team. Rigging, so people may not know what the rigging team do, but they're the guys that put the bits inside the animals
Yeah.
to actually make them move. Really, really important, really complex stuff, but they work hand in glove with the character team and animation to produce these absolutely amazing sequences of motion. And yeah, you can just watch this guy gliding around all day. It's
These
incredible.
movements, they're just so natural. He just looks
Yeah, it's beautiful.
having a leisurely swim.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth talking about the two different types of aquatic animal that we're seeing here. So the turtle is what, nice little
That was a nice
kelp
build.
there, yeah. Is what we kind of call a hero animal. So, has the welfare requirements of like any other animal in the zoo would. And then we have shoals, which is, we don't really treat them as individuals, we treat those as a group. So these are the shoals of fish that you're seeing swimming around together now. And I think together it allows us to have a really, really rich sort of population within the aquariums.
And who is this? Who very clearly wants to be the next to be seen.
He really wanted to be in shot, didn't he? This is the sunfish.
That's right, ocean sunfish.
Yeah.
It's one of the, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest or largest bony fish in the ocean. And yeah, they're kind of a bit derpy looking, but they
Not
are
known for their grace, but
no, but they do like the camera, so
He's
they will.
unique, right?
everyone has a favourite.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
has a favourite.
He's surprisingly popular. I'm like, the hawksbill's amazing, and then other people are like, no, the sunfish is the best.
He is gorgeous. He's absolutely massive. It's great to see him against the background of some of these shells that are moving around in the background. He comes through as a bit of a titan.
I think the other thing that we're getting a good look at here is the water effects that we saw earlier on, and how they manifest not only in natural bodies of water, but here in these aquariums, and how they interact with the animals. You know, these sort of shafts, like what the rays again? You've got the word for it.
Crepuscular rays.
Thank you.
Gareth. Yeah,
That's the one.
they're great.
It's amazing to see them not only on the animals but also on the top of the ship here. It's just a bit mesmerising.
It's a detail that you don't really notice straight away because it is just so natural. But actually, yeah, I'm glad you noticed that.
Oh, there's one of our humphead wrasse. That's such a cool
It's a
fish.
gorgeous looking
Wow.
fish, isn't it? Yeah,
It's great coloration.
it's lovely, so
Oh,
detailed
is
as
that the
well.
orange one over behind him?
Yeah.
I think the orange one looks even cooler.
Yeah, the color variation is so gorgeous. I think this is the prettiest fish.
It might be
Oh.
actually. Yeah.
Not the sunfish. It's a close. It's neck and neck, but the patterning on the face there is absolutely gorgeous. The level of detail is fantastic.
And
Guckt euch mal diesen Fisch an, ey. Das ist doch wirklich, wen wollen die eigentlich verarschen? Das ist doch wirklich gut.
right, they've just got
Also wirklich.
that sort of the way the fins are moving it just feels so natural. And again, just like with the
Wow. Also,
birds, full
nice.
3D navigation, so these guys will adapt to whatever you do to the aquarium, whether you're putting scenery in or these giant corals. They understand that and recalibrate, where they can and can't go. You can create some sort of awesome arches. I think this one's probably a little bit too tight, but you can create arches and the animals will swim through. So yeah, you can get some really, really cool stuff.
And they generally stay true to their natural kind of elevation in the
Yes,
water as well.
yes.
So you won't typically see if they're not bottom dwellers on the ground, then you won't see them down at the base.
And you do have to be careful in terms of cohabitation, just to make sure that the species that you're putting in together can cohabit.
Yeah.
We generally err on the side of generosity on that because we want people to create these cool scenes, right? But if there are obvious predator and prey combinations, best avoided.
There's diversity within reason.
Yeah.
And to just really show off our amazing lighting here, maybe you can skip us through time a little bit and
I was
showcase.
thinking the same thing, Chris.
So yeah, you can see that it's all physics-based rendering. It's all for real. Looks incredible as we shift. So that's basically the position of the sun shifting through the sky and affecting how the shadows.
It's amazing. It looks, whatever time of day your guests visit, it could look entirely different by the time they come round. And it's great to see that
It's
kind
a
of
completely
sweep through.
It's a changing environment the whole time. Yeah. So yeah, every time you look back, there'll be a different vista.
Ja, haben sie sich auch sehr viel Mühe gegeben, bei dem Aquarium zu bauen tatsächlich, ne? Aber das ist ja, wie gesagt, Trailer, ne?
It's truly mesmerizing.
Coming 13. Oktober 26. Wow. Bin ich immer noch geflasht von tatsächlich. Denn so hat er eine relativ große Fanbase, muss ich sagen. Und ja, ich hoffe, euch hat ein wenig das Video gefallen. Wir sehen uns im nächsten Video wieder. Bis dahin bin ich raus. Sag danke fürs Reinschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Euer Danny. Ciao.